Hello and welcome back to another episode here of Satisfactory. We're here at the supercomputer power point. I'm here because I came back. I was recording my video for just checking out the update and what everything was available, and when I logged back in I lost power. Now at the moment I'm fluctuating here by 1.8, but it went up past the 3.2 megawatt and it cut out, which is a worrying aspect for me because I want to further expand the plant and do more with it, so it could generally affect me in the long run. So what I'm going to tackle today is oil power, is fuel generators. This is going to be sort of a big undertaking. I'm going to make use of the 4 oil nodes, the pure oil nodes over there, and my plan is to utilize all 4 for fuel production. Now the big thing about it is the numbers I've sort of been crunching up are a bit astronomical. I might say a bit is an understatement, but I worked out, alright, so the 4 nodes is can produce in each 450 barrels a piece. Now each of those barrels, it'll take 7.5 refineries to process those barrels. So that's 30 refineries. Now on top of that, each of those 7.5 refineries will produce 37.5 fuel each. That's a total use of 281.25 fuel per oil node, or 1125 fuel. Yeah, 1125 fuel per minute. Now the fuel generators I've read online actually consume 12 fuel per minute. So to take advantage of those 1125 fuel per minute, I would have to build 93 generators, which is pretty nuts. Yeah. It's a bit nuts now at this stage. I'm not sure. Now, I don't know what. Now I'd have to do it in stages. I'm just thinking because I don't have enough power to start get all the refineries up and running straight away. So the plan was, so I'm sort of looking at maybe starting get one oil node up and running, get the refineries up and running. Then get the jennies after that up and running for each oil node. I'm not sure if I'll do each of them on each platform or do one platform each. So we'll get started. I will have to. So first of all, where are my production? The main one here is the pump. So I want to get the 4 pumps anyways built, and we'll go for the 7 refineries because I'm going to do 7 for each and just put a shard in one of them to take up the excess and push it out further. Now potentially I could build a lot less than I'm saying here if I overclock everything, but I don't have that much shards. I think I have 80 shards, and generally I want to keep them for production. The generation, it doesn't matter if I have 93, is that 15, 30, 123, 127 buildings. Oh my god, what am I doing? Anyways, actually just reminds me of someone who put it up on Reddit is producing 85.5 gigawatts of power. They've actually utilized every oil node on the map and are producing enough power, are using up every oil node in the map to produce power and in total is producing 85 gigawatts. Now that's the maximum amount you can produce from oil, but the maximum amount you can produce on the map is 137 gigawatts, just with the current resources at the moment. Now potentially if I had the power, if I had the computer, and if the game was a lot more optimized, I would go for that. But I'm saying once, if I'd done all the oil, my game would glitch, I'd say, at that stage, and it'd be very laggy. But it's something I might look into. Maybe when I get this built, I will create a separate save file and start working on it. Maybe. But anyways, look, I'm going to gather these few bits here, take a ton of concrete, and I'm going to head over to the oil nodes, and I'm going to start building my oil power plant. Now, I'll see you in a second over there. Well, I'm over here at the 4 nodes. I have 4 pumps put up. So there's one over there, and then there's 2 over there. Looking for space-wise, there's a few islands around. So one idea, so the 93 generators are the big issue here. The 28 or so refineries are not too bad. What I'm thinking of here is to maybe build a section right here in the middle between all 4 pumps and have all the refineries on that, so they're producing all the fuel, and then I can have them in sections depending on how much, because I have 450, so basically I'll have 3 belts coming off it. So 1125, that's 450 and 450 is 900, and then I'll have a belt with 225 coming off it. So we'll have roughly 2.5 belts worth of stuff coming off, or barrels coming off, and then it'll be a case of dividing those belts down that they'll be feeding all 93 generators. That'll be another thing on which way I'll divide those down. So what I'll do here first is I'm going to mess around with some foundations and the size of the refineries, and sort of muddle around in my head and away and out on paper, or not on paper, on the foundations here, how to best fit this. See, potentially I could have just built a foundation around each pump and just run the 8 off that, and actually typically have 4 belts running off. That sounds like actually a better idea. So each oil pump has its own refinery station, and then typically I could have, for each oil pump, I could have its 7 refineries producing about 280 fuel, or 81.25 is the calculations, is right down to the T. That's specifically one belt. So give me a second here. Where's my calculator? So 281.25 divided by 12 equals, and then potentially I could have each, that's 23, roughly 23 generators each. Right, I have an idea. I'm going to build a platform big enough to fit the 7 refineries in a square. Then I'm going to build the generators above it. So I'm going to fit how many ever generators. Ooh, wait, that's 23. Okay, give me a minute. I'll be back in a second with sort of a rough idea of where I want to go. I want to hashtag this out here in putting down some foundations and see how it works out. See you in a second. Oh, that sounds so good when that happens. There's the 7. So 7 refineries all lined up. So, okay. So it's going to feed directly out of here into a splitter. It's going to split one way and then the other 2 ways, either left or right. It's going to be pumping 450 out. So it'll divide between all of them. I will adjust the one in the middle to produce that bit extra of fuel, depending on what's coming in. So I have to make sure it's going to be an extra 30. So if this guy, that's going to be fuel, that's 60 per minute. Yeah, 150%. That will use up all 450 that I can produce on the belt. So that's the maximum amount from this node. So now what I'll have to do is, I'm not going to repeat it yet, but now I'm going to take a look at how I'm going to build the 23 oil generators here. Now I'm going to build a storage little container here, throw whatever my inventory and what's on the lorry back in to here. So I have plenty of supplies out here, and then I'm going to run back to base and get enough resources for my 23 fuel generators. So I'll be back in 1 second. Now I've done some fiddling and some building and some deconstruction and a lot, and I've come to realize that the fuel generators are absolutely out of this world humongous. They're absolutely massive. I built this platform here hoping that I could fit 12, 6, 6 and then 12 over this side as well, but that's not going to happen. They filled about 3 of them on this. Give me a second. Can I get one to place here? This is the size of them like. They're just like, that's 2 of them. Look at the size of these things. They're just colossal. So that sort of idea has gone out the window. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to have all 7, so it's 14, 21, 28 refineries here. As they are, they're all going to be facing each other in a row here. So another 7 down there, 7 here, and 7 where I'm standing at the moment. Then I'm going to feed each of the oil pumps into them, as this one is here. If you see this one, so this pump is facing directly forward into the middle one, and then it feeds 6 on either side. The middle one here is boosted or overclocked, sorry, to take advantage of the last, well, it hasn't changed yet, but if I take out this much, 19 minutes. So it's this setup here of 7 is consuming 450 oil, crude oil per minute. So that's what I need. So I'm going to set up all 4 of those systems. Then the idea was to, there's a massive expansive area out here, absolutely massive. The idea is to build all 93 of my oil or fuel generators out there. So I'm going to run over 4 separate belts each. Each belt is going to feed 23 generators. So it's 20, that's 80, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 80 or 92 generators. I'm going to have an extra one for overspill at the end. So that's the plan. Now comes the tough part, is building. Now the worst thing is, it's going to take so much foundations to build for all 93. Again, the idea here is I'm going for the full oil production or power production off this node, these 4, and that's it. It'll be the same for the 10 that's on the very far east side of the map. Completely power production. And that's where we'll go for now, because tier 7 I don't think is nuclear in tier 7, and that might be at the end of May. So I'd like to get all of this built and take advantage of all of this power and produce it, so if I need it, it's there. So that's today's job. It's going to take a while. So my next one is to build the platform big enough for all 28 refineries, feed the belts in from all 4 oil pumps, and then start bringing the 4 belts over towards where I'm going to have the 93 what do you call them? Oh, fuel generators. Okay, so I'll get working away at that, and I'll see you shortly. Well, it'll be short, a couple of seconds for you. It might be a couple of hours for me. See you later. See you in a second. Bye bye. Well, as you can see, I've all supporting 28 refineries up. I have some of them producing fuel, but I had to cut some of them off because when I had them all up and running, it cut the power before I set up the grid over here. So I'll go over there in a second, but I'm back here to actually reconnect the ones I had to disconnect here. So I have everything hooked up from the 4 oil. I have to do this from down there. I can't do from up here. But it died. So I'm going to hook these back up again to get them all producing. Oh, these ones aren't hooked up here either. No. There. So I have each of these hooked up to 2 refineries. I'll explain now in a second how I have all these. Okay, as you can see here, I have a sort of a weird belt setup. I have it set up that on each belt that's leaving, on 2 of the belts that's leaving here, there's a maximum of 450 fuel leaving on 2 of the belts, and then the last belt has the remaining. So there's 1125 altogether in fuel. So there's 2 450, that's 900, and then the last 225 is on the top belt. So that's from the very end refineries down here. I sort of done it that way because then it was easier just to move a lot of stuff, and again I think upgraded also. I think anyways. Oh, lag. So they're all hooked up to the oil pumps. All 4. All 4 is nicely powered. Oh, this one's not connected. I knew there was something wrong there. So we'll connect this up quickly here. Turn sideways. Actually, that's going down the middle, so I'm going to do this. The head off down the middle. This poor guy down here is doing nothing. He's getting bored. Right down here again. I'll do this right to the edge. And there we go. Perfect. So now that's all 4 hooked up, and all 28 refineries all hooked up also. And now I'll head over and give you a look at the fuel generator setup. I haven't it fully set up yet, it's not even close to being full yet. 93 refineries. So I have it all the way over here. The plan is to... So I have 2 belts of 450 coming over. Those 2 belts will power 37 generators each. Now I've only 1 line set up here at the moment. Setting up. Can I set it up? Up. No. Get up here again. I want to see how many. I didn't really count. I just built as many as I could. Alright, let's get up here. There's a little platform up here. It says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 altogether on this line. See, 37. That's another 21 that has to go on this. Now I'm basically going to extend the platform out that way. Just past the mist there is actually going to be our first obstacle, is some rocks that has to be blasted out of the way, but I'll have to wait for the sulfur. But in the meantime, it'll be a case of expanding this system out the whole way. Now again, I've done all my calculations based on that these fuel generators burn 12 fuel. 12 fuel per minute, so it's 5 every second. 60 divided by 5 equals 12 fuel per minute. So then you can, so we've 450 coming off the belt. Get my calculator. 450 divided by 12, well, 37 and a half. But the plan is to have 37, and then I'm going to have one Jenny at the very end being fed from the end of the two 450 rows, and then we have 1125 minus 900 equals divided by 12, and then the very end we'll have 19 generators. But that's the plan for now. So the next thing I have to do is I have to go back and get enough resources for the remainder generators. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 16 and 7. I have 23. I have 23 generators here now. That's all the resources I had with me. So now I have to go back and get the other 37 plus 37 plus 19 plus 1 equals 94. So 94 minus 23, 71 generators. And tons of concrete to build the rest of this platform. It's going to be humongous. So the first two are going to be the 450 rows, or the 450 belts, the 37 generators, and then the last one then is going to have the 19 generators. Well, really only 18.75, but the 19th one is just to use up. I don't want any excess fuel coming from these. I'm not going to pipe them in any other part of the map or bring them anywhere else. Yeah, so it's fairly costing me a lot of resources, this project, and I think at one stage I think when I have this fully finished, I am going to make a copy of this map, and I'm going to set in to actually, I think, utilize all the fuel, the power on the whole map, and connect it all up. I want to see, can I create that 137 gigawatts of power. Currently, so we have the 3.2 from the geothermal, and then we have, press E in here, we're now up to 5.6. So that's another 2.4 so far from this. I think this can bring in a total of the 16 or 17 gigawatts. So we'll be up to 20 gigawatts at that stage. So that'll be a lot of power. That should be able to assist me in making sure I can build the rest of my computers and all of those manufacturing processes back at the hub, and set up a full iron manufacturing plant as well that I want to over another part of the desert. But that manufacturing plant's for another day. But today, set in and to get this finished, all 93 generators up and running and supplied and fitted and connected to our grid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in maybe when I've nearly it all finished, and I'll finish it up so you can see it just being finished off, and the final figure coming in, and see what we're going to have left over. We'll see. It'll be surprising. What's in here? I have some more take all. I'm actually going to use up the rest of that concrete before I go back to base again. But again, I'll see you in a second. A second for you, but it'll probably a couple of hours for me. See you in a bit. Well, it's definitely a sight to behold. It's not 100% finished yet. Just connecting up the conveyors to the last row. Connecting up the splitters and conveyors to the last row. I had to log out, log back in, of course, to log me back in the character back at the base. So I had to come back, all the way back out here to catch up with it again. But as you can see, it's nearly finished. We're in the last row. I haven't checked the power consumption yet, or the power production. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I think it was 3.2 when we started. So it'll be well over that by now. So I'm in the last row. I've placed all 93 generators. Look at, there's the guy, standing right there. But anyways, we'll get these placed. So, lag. Just make sure these are all lined up. And I'm connecting them as I go as well, just so the fuel pops into each one. You can hear them kicking into action. Another one. Yeah, it's definitely a big project, from having to start with your foundations. I deleted a lot of foundations as well because I made it way too big, way too long and way too wide. So you have to deal with that also. And then the amount of placing of the fuel generators as well. They're absolutely humongous, these things. They take up a lot of space, and then when you get it wrong, it doesn't sit into place like you wanted it to. And it's off by one block, and you only realise it's off by one block when you go to lay the power lines. So I have all the power lines laid for these ones here at the end as well. That's all done already, so that's why they're kicking in straight away. The minute I connect up, it gets first bit of fuel. I want them all kicked in by the time I'm finished, so I can see the power outage, or the power output. Outage. That's what happens when it stops working. Over halfway. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about maybe trying to maximize the power production on this map. Now, not necessarily in this series, but definitely just making a copy of this as it is, because I have the production lines for a lot of this stuff I need to build them. 7. So it is possible. It will just take a lot of time. Like, it's taken me a good few hours to do this now. I haven't kept track because I've been on and off the computer all day. I've stopped and started and came back and left some things and done other things as well. 1, 2. This is the last one. Now we'll fly up here. So this is 19 on this row. Oh, what to land. There's 19 on this row, but it should be only 18.75. So I can reduce this to 75%. Now this guy is still waiting for fuel. Oh, he's got a fuel, some. So he started up. See all our lovely fuel generators. There's just a colossal. Now that's for 4 pure, or 4 normal. Is it normal oil nodes? 4 pure oil nodes producing 1,800 barrels of crude oil, and those 1,800 will produce 1,125 fuel, and 1,125 will power 93 generators. The easiest way, I think, is so 450 fuel will power 37.5 generators. So 2 full 450 belts is 30, 36, 7, 14, 74, 75 generators evenly. And then you'll have, if you have another The four of them here power 93. Well, 92 and 3/4. This guy here is down to 3/4 anyways. Wow. What is that down there? What are those? Are those... Those look like... they are. Can I pick them up? I can. When I disassemble a lot of the edge of my thing here, it looks like a lot of these got left in the water. And pick them up. Can I get the ones that's down deep? There's tons of them. Can you get this one? Get this one? Come on. I thought they were all going into my inventory. No, they weren't. What, there's loads of them. Can I reach those ones? No, I can't look at them all. Oh, that's quite a few. And now I have to swim back to shore, because you can't get up on the edge. So yeah, so if you have, it's 450 will produce is for 37.5, 300 is 25. It all depends. I broke it down to 450. So I made my belts up to 450 each, and then worked it from there. Look at all those canisters in there now. But yeah, that's it. So let's double check this. So we 3,200 megawatts, gigawatts being, or 3,200 megawatts, 3.2 gigawatts being produced before. Now we're producing 17.2 gigawatts. Oh my god! Oh, that's 14 gigawatts, 14.07 gigawatts. Oh my god, I'm definitely not going to need fuel for a while, or power. I wonder if these Ed ones filled up yet. Yeah, it looks like they have. So they've all filled up anyways. So, can I get to this platform? I will. They've all filled up. Now, they're all going to sit like that because I'm not actually pushing the limits of the fuel generation right to the edge. Oh. But it is at max turn, the fuel generator will consume 12 fuel per minute. So you have to take that into consideration. If you put this under strain or put it under full production, it will burn the 12 fuel per minute. Whereas if you were to, I could build hundreds here, technically, off one fuel node, and just let them fill up slowly but surely, one at a time. But the minute you start putting it under use and under strain, that's when things start getting hairy, and you will start definitely coming to the edge of what you can cope with. Let's get over here. Now the big thing is I have to bring all my extra bits back to base. This thing, yeah, this is filling up here. So that'll slowly fill up, and it'll stay full, and at least all the refineries will stop producing then, and they'll reduce in the consumption of power. But you can see there how I'm just over 2 and a bit at the moment. Now at times I got 2.6, 2.7 there. When I was connecting up the middle row, I was definitely looking at, I was over the 3 mark. Definitely over the 3. I have to go back to base, and I'm going to take a good look at what's there. Do I have space now to... I'm not going to leave this here. So, try and make our way back. So I can leave this as it is for now. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely look at. I'd love to see could I actually build the 137 gigawatts of power on the map. I'm sure somebody else is trying it as well. I know someone has done the 85, has done all the oil on the map. I think I might aim for that first. I think it might be easier to build the actual power production right beside the nodes. It looks like one guy who produced the 85, he actually shipped or belted every single node to the oil fields in the northeast, which it's far quicker to connect a power line than build everything. But maybe he wants to just have everything in one area. But I won't be doing that. I probably don't have much time as that person, and that guy is already 85 gigawatts ahead of me. This lovely, it's like a sand course, roller coaster over here. I love how the terrain is just made. It's just so versatile and so different no matter what part of the map you go on. There's another nice big rock that I'm going to make short work of when sulfur comes out. So I'm going to go back now and see at the base how much supercomputers are produced, because a lot of the time I went AFK as well when I wasn't at the computer. Now, one thing, I don't want to empty this guy. This guy is full of concrete. I'm going to keep him full of concrete if I'm going to go building the other oil fields, or developing the other oil fields. Look at, he's just nearly empty on fuel as well. Come on, stop. Actually, I'm going to check him. Has he got much concrete? Oh, he doesn't have a lot. Oh, what the hell? What? What? Stop. Go forward. Weird. So up here I go. I have to build some sort of quicker way to get upstairs than this. Oh yeah, I want to check the supercomputers. Let's see how much we've produced. Well, the computers, everything seems to be running okay. Here, nothing is stopped. Do we have... I think we have one full one, do we? Yeah, we have one full one. Do we have the two? Oh, look at that! Oh my god, I'm on to supercomputers. That's definitely produced now. Anyways, I'll have to move all of that downstairs now into the other storage. But I'm going to do that when I start building the other lines here. That's definitely for another day, those. So I'll make our way upstairs. I'm going to empty out my inventory here. Oh, can I get up here? Can I get up here? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, whoa. I can go up here. No, I can't. Yeah, I definitely have to make an easier way to get up. Come on, fly up. Where'd you go? Get up here. It's my own base. I don't know which way to go. Come on, Jesus. It's like trying to take teeth. I'm trying to pull teeth. And my trusty sort that. So if you're always using this, sort it first, because it always takes the last item first. Store all, and then I can just take the food. Why do I have 2 jump legs with me? 2 chainsaws. Was that the other guy? That's the other guy. The other guy, it's over there. I emptied the inventory with regards the chainsaw and stuff. I left them all the stuff over there. And there now. I'm going to put the excess in here. So this guy is ready to go for the next day. The next project. Get in there. So that's it for today. Definitely, where's my nearest power pole? Let's go downstairs. Definitely that was a massive project to undertake. Just like hooking up all the geothermals. It's always big for the likes of those projects. Oh, no fuel left. Where are we? 17.270. That is some crazy numbers. And look at them how the power fluctuates. There's 2,000. That's just nuts. So that's 14 gigawatts produced today. It'll definitely cover me for any projects that I have in the future, including my. If I can get around here now, I'll change out the legs because I have no fuel on me. I got rid of it all. That definitely includes for a project down the line of building a production line here for computers, for the high-speed connectors, for the AI limiters, and for the circuit boards. Now potentially, I'm not sure. I'm going to use the same bus system. I'm just going to bus these over here and straight across as well, and the ones the far side too, and actually produce them on this line here beside it. So I have to set up a whole line to produce the high-speed connectors. So that's quick wire, cable, and plastic. Another whole line for just computers. See, these are pretty simple. See, there's no AI limiters. The AI limiters is only for. Is that just for the supercomputer? So for the computer, we can eliminate that line altogether, and just have the circuit boards and the computer. Then for the high speed, would be just the high speed on its own. I could put the high speed and the AI limiters on their own, beside each other. But again, that's a project for the next day. So that's the end of it today. 14 gigawatts of power. That is madness that we have that much now. It's definitely a long project. So that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video. It's a little shorter today than usual. I might keep them a bit shorter like this recording time or video time. So the long 51 minutes, the last video. Oh my god, that was a massive video. But again, have a nice evening, have a nice day, where you are, and slán.